Big disappointment down at the Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor tonight as Michigan State comes in and beats Michigan by a final of 75-63. That's right, folks. Welcome in. It is a final down in Ann Arbor. It was a great day to be nervous in Ann Arbor and be excited about a big basketball game with first place on the line and just a handful of games left in the regular season and a big chance for U of M to take the upper hand in the conference and had their eyes set on a Big Ten regular season championship. And it hasn't completely gone by the boards, but they get a big punch in the gut as they lose at home to MSU. Look, yeah, MSU, there a lot of this game. I was watching it certainly in the first half and then some points in the second half, early in the second half. Michigan's a better team. Michigan's playing better. They've got a better team. Michigan State really can't shoot, and Michigan should win this game, and Michigan should win the Big Ten. That's what I was thinking for a lot of this game. And then MSU just went on a little bit of a tear, and it's like they were reading my mind and saying, oh, yeah, we can't shoot. Boom, start making it from down. Boom, start making it from downtown. And then they just started attacking relentlessly at the basket and getting second half points. And you could say that they look like they wanted it more. Right? They played better, that's for sure. And a lot of times when you get to the end of February and certainly in March, and you always hear it's almost like a cliche that you'll hear when the NCAA tournament's going on, you say, you got to have great guard play. And it's true. And tonight, Michigan did not have great guard play. Nawari Burnett had a nice game for U of M. He's been steady, and he was dropping in threes, and he was nice. But Trey Donaldson had 2 points. Reuben Jones and Roddy Gale. Now, that trio of Donaldson, Jones, and Gale combined for 10 points, that's not getting it done anywhere. Michigan plays like that in any of their big games, they're not going to win. And meanwhile, you look on the other side, MSU had, Jay Rich went for 21, and Holloman off the bench had 18. And both of those guys were hitting threes, and Fears banked one in late. And so for a team that couldn't shoot it all, and especially from downtown, they ended up making some threes in this game. But Michigan's going to have to get a lot better guard play moving forward if, maybe the Big Ten feels like it tonight that the Big Ten first place is out the window, but they've got some games. They win a few games and you feel differently about that, but not being able to hold serve at home with a game in hand, there is a little bit of a reality check there as well. But MSU does have some tough games coming up, so maybe they'll drop one or two that'll give Michigan a chance, and Michigan can go on a little bit of a run because they've got, we'll look at the schedule, a bunch of winnable games, and they can go into East Lansing and maybe they can turn the tables on Tom Izzo and company and at least get a share of the conference title. So that's what I saw tonight. Not a lot of fun talking about a loss, especially to MSU. This was game number 26 on the season for MSU. We're getting to that point where they're all big, and it's number 12 Michigan versus number 14 MSU, and a great big broadcast crew. The intensity inside the Chrysler Center, you could hear it, you could feel it. It was great. Michigan was a big 3.5-point favorite in this game, which was a surprise for this first place showdown in the Big Ten. Earlier in the day, Michigan got some good news as Dusty May gets an extension. And that was announced this afternoon. So you feel good if you're a Michigan fan about that. You didn't want him, obviously, bolting to Indiana after 1 year in U of M with the job that he's done. So, everything was set up to feel pretty good about tonight's game. And early on, It was MSU playing well, and they got up 8, but then U of M went on a 15-0 run in the first half and got a 7-point lead, and man, did they look good. And it was the opposite for MSU. MSU went dry. We know their game of runs, but 15-point or a 15-0 run, pretty substantial. And the way Michigan was doing it, Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf doing their thing, it was impressive. And Michigan had to settle for a 4-point lead at the half, 38-34. We'll get some of your feedback coming up if you're watching this and you have any thoughts on the game. We'll go through them. But then the second half, MSU started knocking down some threes. And they took an 8-point lead midway through the second half and pretty much didn't look back. Spartans pushed to an 11-point lead at the 7:39 mark. I say that they never looked back because Michigan did make it over a 3-point game with just 5 left, but they couldn't get it down where it was tied. When they'd get it to 3, MSU had those answers. There was the zone. I think you could say maybe Michigan should have went to the zone earlier. Then the counter would be, well, MSU was knocking down some of their threes, but the zone late gave Michigan a little bit of energy, and they got some turnovers, but they couldn't stop MSU on offense. And that was the story where MSU just was relentless and attacking, and they wouldn't miss late. So not enough from the backcourt, as I pointed out, for Michigan in the final, 75-62. It ends up going down in the books. Not a lot of Michigan basketball fans tonight. They were rebounding, or they were leaving early from the Chrysler Center. MMB pointing to the rebounding, and the second half play needs to be better. Well, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. There were a lot of second chance points. I'm with you with MSU. Chase pointing to the missed threes and the missed free throws, bad perimeter defense, and turnovers is what cost us in this game. Well, Michigan didn't shoot well from downtown, so I'm going to agree with you on that. 5 of 21 is not going to get it done. And you don't have to live and die by the 3, but you got to do better than just making 5 if you are going to hoist up 21. And you look to, well, we'll look at the box score, but Reuben Jones and Cheddar came in, and they didn't have the touch from downtown. And overall, you look at the free throws, and you would like to see the big man Vlad, who had a good game, do a little bit better from the charity stripe. And there you go, the 15 turnovers, 7 at the half, couple too many when it comes down for Michigan. Derek is tipping his cap to the opponent and said Michigan needs to learn from this like they did after the Purdue loss. That a boy, that's I think what Dusty will say to these guys. They have just gone on a stretch on the road, and then against Purdue where it was the intensity is really ratcheted up, and it was, at a peak level tonight. And so they need to play like, know that the intensity is going to be like this the rest of the way. Now, it's not easy to win a Big Ten championship. And so now that they'll have to, if they can learn from it, to put themselves in position to actually play for one, at least a piece at the end of the year. CK thinks that Michigan has 2 reliable players. Well, Area 51 are their 2 best players. That's true. Donaldson was a disappointment tonight, so I know what you're saying there. He's their 3rd best guy. And then Burnett and Cheddar are both nice pieces for a winning team. The thing about the last 3 games is that Reuben Jones and Roddy Gale, the switch in putting Jones into the starting lineup, that had worked really well. And for Reuben Jones, he didn't play well tonight, but the 2 previous games he did. And then Gale, maybe it was just against Ohio State, he played so well. But, Gale is he's a frustrating guy to watch. There's some games he makes a lot of positive plays, but I think Robbie Hummel said it the best. Gale's not out there for, his dead eye shooting from outside or anything else. He's a straight line driver. He's very athletic in being able to do that. He should be junking it up and driving to the hole strong. And, he's a good free throw shooter, but that's about it. You don't even want, like a game like tonight, you don't even want Roddy Gale to have the ball in his hands. But you can say that, and I just said it myself, but you say, okay, well, give it to Reuben Jones. Reuben Jones wasn't any better tonight. Now, he was nice in the first half, but he was not there at all in the second half. And if Trey Donaldson isn't doing anything, what did Trey Donaldson have? 2 points in this game? Hit 1 3? I mean, he was doing nothing. He had 3 points in this game. I said 2 earlier. You can't have that. Trey Donaldson scores 3 points. Michigan will lose to Rutgers if Jones and Gale are playing this way. So, I get what you're saying with only 2 reliable players. The guards, you could say, well, why is Gale in there? Well, because Jones wasn't any good and Donaldson wasn't any good. And the freshman, Pippen is his first Michigan State game. He can't throw the ball in from inbounds. Kaysen plays a minute or two right before the half, these last 2 games. I mean, he's not. You say, what are you ready to put him in some major role? Guard play. The guard play stunk tonight. And with a nod to Namari Burnett, who did a nice job. But the other guys weren't there at all and weren't reliable at all. And that's disappointing. Fancy Lion is saying weak, loserish performance. Vlad is soft. The team is soft. Frauds should not be in first place. It's false gold, period. End of story. Michigan has to take it tonight because Michigan State came in and punched him in the mouth. But Vlad, to me, I think you're off base on that. He's not soft. He's Michigan's best player. I know Danny Wolf gets all the headlines and even Raph. I was looking online. Somebody was calling him the Jewish Joker, and all these. They were even calling him the Joker during the game. Oh, he's just look. And I like Danny Wolf. He is fun, and you understand because he's a different type player at 7 foot. But this is Vlad's team. He's not soft. I would say that I understand where you're coming from, the rest of that, but no, I don't agree on Vlad being soft. Yeah. I mean, that's a big part of the game. You got to be able to make free throws and you got to be able to make threes. So that's it. FL is blaming Pippen. Yeah, well, he is. He's a freshman playing in his first Michigan State game, and he wasn't ready. So, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad. And if you're Pippen, you deserve the criticism, just like all the other guards in this game, besides Burnett, who was good. FL talking about an alley-oop dunk, and he tosses it up at the rim. Yeah, I think on that one, there might have been some contact there. It's not like he was just standing with nobody else around him. Look, I'll tell you this, FL, there's a lot of things that you could point to tonight. Talking about Vlad Golden isn't one of them, but hey, I'd invite everyone in. I appreciate your thoughts. Everybody sees the game a little bit different. And so I certainly like that you come in here and give your opinion. That's what it's all about, or partly what it's about. Let's look at some of these numbers as I put the box score up there. Vlad Golden had 21 points and 5 boards, 7 of 11 from the field, and 7 of 11 from the charity stripe in 33 minutes. 1 personal foul. I think you could make a case that he could have been more aggressive defensively in the second half. Look, in the first half, these guys are driving to the goal wildly. You don't want to pick up any unnecessary fouls. So you stand there. But in the second half, when you only have 1 personal foul, maybe you could be a little bit more active defensively. I would say that would be something that you could point to with Vlad. But overall, he was Michigan's best player tonight. Namari did a nice job knocking down 2 threes and 5 of 8 from the field. Danny Wolf, 11, 7, and 8. But, Danny Wolf, Didn't get it going early, didn't really get it going late. So in the middle part, had some nice stretches, but 11, 7, and 8 in a losing effort, 1 of 4 from downtown. Nothing where if you were watching Danny Wolf for the first time, he made a sweet behind the back pass, and he had a mid-range shot that looked nice, but there was, you'd watch this and say, wow, Danny Wolf, this guy, you're touting him for first team all Big Ten, or, one of the best players in the country kind of thing. He wasn't like that tonight. Donaldson, I'm a big fan of Donaldson, but 3 points, 3 boards, and 2 assists, not going to cut it. Reuben Jones, 2, 3, and 2. Same thing. Couldn't hit the broadside of the barn from downtown. Jones, when he was throwing up air balls, just like Gale. I don't know. Should Gale shoot 3-pointers? Probably not. 5 points, 4 boards. Cheddar didn't have a real impact in this game, and we already gone through what Pippen and Kason brought. Not a whole lot from those guys. So disappointing there. And the updated standings has Michigan State in first place at 13-3. Michigan 1 game back at 12-3. Michigan does have the game in hand. State has played 16 games. Michigan with 15. So you got that going for you. If you're the Maize and Blue, you still control your destiny in terms of being able to get to that season finale up in East Lansing, where you could control your own destiny and get a piece of the Big Ten regular season. And that, like I said, I don't know if it's going to be this next game or the next one after that, but after a couple wins in a row, certainly you'll start thinking about it, especially if Michigan State loses one. Play of the game, Trey Heilman came in and hit back-to-back threes, and I thought those were huge. One put him up 5, one put him up 8. Those are 2 different shots. I would go with the second one, but then Fears at the late in the game, he banked a 3-pointer in, and that's when I knew that this game was over, and that was all she wrote. And so I will give Jeremy Fears Jr. the play of the game, banking in that 3 topside for MSU. That's what I saw. Let's look at the upcoming schedule. Before we do that, heading into this game, Michigan, they're ranked 12. KenPom.com had them at 19 and the 5th ranked team in the Big Ten behind MSU, Maryland, who they'll play, Purdue, and Wisconsin, who's way up there at 7. And there you go. Is that 5? Let's see. Wisconsin, Purdue, Maryland, Michigan State. Yeah, there's the 4. Michigan at 5. Lenardi did a bracketology. He does them on Friday, and he did one today, the 21st. I didn't write the update on the top, but he has Michigan as a 4 seed. He's got 12 teams in the SEC, 10 in the Big Ten. So Michigan, they're going to be in the tournament. We know that. But it's about whether they're going to be able to make that last game against Michigan State mean something in terms of the regular season and getting a piece, or still potentially outright championship. Let's check that upcoming schedule. It is brought to you by the Maize and Blue Review, the feed and channel that you're watching right now. Hey, why not give yourself or that U of M fan in your life the gift of the Maize and Blue Review for 2025? You like recruiting? Yeah, you like it. Football, basketball, it's all there. Go to michigan.rivals.com, get instant access. We'll see you over there on the Den. I look forward to seeing you there. Here's the upcoming schedule for Michigan now that they just have 5 games left in the regular season at Nebraska, who's fighting, Nebraska is, to get into the tournament. I'm sure they'll be looking at this and saying, oh, that would be a nice victory if they were able to beat Michigan. So that's not going to be a super easy one. Nebraska is going to be going all out in that one. That's Michigan's next game coming up pretty quick Monday, an 8 o'clock start. Then Rutgers, Illinois, and Maryland, all three at home. I don't think any of them are necessarily going to be easy, but I think Michigan can win all three of these games. I think they should be able to beat Nebraska too. And if they do that, regardless of what Michigan State does, that they will be then playing for a piece of the Big Ten title. They'll probably lose one of these, and I think Michigan State will probably lose one of theirs if I'm making a prediction, and I am. That's how I think it'll end up going down. Take some more feedback here before I let you go on through the your night. Fancy Lion is asking, what was the inflection point where we lost the game? I will go to those back-to-back threes if we're looking for a stretch. And when you look at it, I could go deeper in there, but it's just one that it made me think about it as I was looking at it. You had Holloman, who made two. So it was only a 2-point game. Holloman makes one 5-point game. Michigan comes down, doesn't score. MSU comes back, and then Holloman over the right wing throws up another one and hits it, an 8-point game. Now, look, Michigan was able to get it down to 3. They went to a zone, but I thought the inflection point was there when Holloman was able to make those threes. Yeah, I agree about Gale not shooting threes. What are you going to do with a guard? Guys are going to start backing up off of them and all of that. Like, that's the thing. You get in there, and how do you talk to them? It's probably a good question for Dusty May. Hey, do you put a stop sign up on one of your guards that are coming in? And, Dusty's probably thinking, yeah, boy, that would really take his confidence and throw it right out the window. But so, yeah, what's he going to say? It's like, no, we want to get him in rhythm, and we want to get good shots. And he will point to that he thought he had good shots and that he thinks they're going to go in. But I don't know. Maybe he should just drive. You and I see it the same. Yeah, those back-to-back threes. Rico's tipping his cap. Yeah. This is going a little bit too far. I mean, they're going to need Gale. So if you're the CK, for those that are just listening on the podcast, says Gale should not be playing. Well, so Donaldson should be. Donaldson, sure, he's going to play. He's their best guard, and he's, their third best player. And so they're really going to need him. I mean, he was a no-show tonight. You're talking about Reuben Jones. Reuben Jones did nice the last 2 games, but for the entire season, he had not. Gale had actually played better than he had. So you say, no, don't play Gale. Are you going to play Jones? And then you playing Pippen? You playing Kaysen? You're just throwing those guys out there? They have to play Gale. So, yeah, you don't like Gale, but the rest of the guys, there's no one else to put in there with them. That's it. DC saying no Sam Walters. Could have been in there to knock down some threes. Yeah, that would have been nice. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Gale has to wear the criticism tonight. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, I'm not really defending him. It's just Gale, Donaldson, Jones, Pippen, Kaysen. Let's go down the list of guys that didn't show up. Send me some blue cheese. Walters has been listed with a back injury. So that's what's going on with him. And I don't know, Gale, halfway through the season, I was saying Gale will make 6 plays. He'll make 12 plays during a game. 6 of them will be fine. And the high-level moves, you'll be like, great. And then he'll make 6 moves. There's like, why is this guy even playing basketball? Like, we don't want him out on the floor. He's throwing the ball into the stands. He's tripping over his feet. He's leaving his feet where he doesn't know he's going to throw the ball. He's throwing a shot up that doesn't look like that has any chance of going in. Like the look at the trajectory of it. It's terrible. And then, so up and down and up and down. Inside is the game. It's like that. Forget game to game. Oh, that's why Dusty benched him and put Jones in there. And that looked like maybe it was going to slow Gale down and help Reuben Jones. You could see the confidence in the first half from Reuben Jones. But in the end, they need better play from those. Roddy in Reuben, if Michigan's winning anything in the regular season of the Big Ten tournament and the Big Dance, they need Reuben and Roddy. I don't think Pippen and Kason are going to take those two guys minutes, and so they have to have them. They're going to be out there. And so that's it. That's where we're at. So let's we looked at the upcoming schedule, and now all that's left is to wait on Monday. Baseball is a great sport as you get involved in a game and you're ready to tear your hair out, you're ready to go grab some blue cheese and just an extra serving of hot wings, and you wake up the next day and you get another game. You're ready to turn the page just like that. And so for Michigan now, they had, they played on Sunday before this, so they had all week for this game. It was like a football game. Not like that now. Now they have a quick turnaround, and they are headed to Lincoln on Monday. So they'll have 2 days. I mean, they'll be taking off after practice on Sunday to go to Lincoln. So really a day and a half, and then they'll be right back at it. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be good for them. I'll say good for me too. Instead of like beating them up every day. And I don't know, beating them up. It's how they played. Say they deserve to get beat up, or they just deserve. They played great. Be patting them on the head, telling them how great they were, and they play like this one today. I think Derek said it earlier. You hope they're able to learn from this one. That's all. I mean, that's if you're a glass half full person. That's if you're able to push back a little bit from the game and say, yeah, tough one. I hate losing to Michigan State for sure. But you get him again. You get the Michigan State again pretty quick, and we'll know if Michigan's able to. I don't know if they have to right the ship, if they're able to put some victories together to make that last game against Michigan State mean something. Basketball, you always got that shot. I always feel like you have another shot. And Michigan they still have a shot. They still control their own destiny for at least a piece of that regular season title. So it doesn't matter what anybody else says. Thank you, Derek. It's a pleasure to work for the Maize and Blue Review and Rivals.com and be able to cover Michigan sports. I love it. And it's just like you. We tune into these games, we follow these teams, and it's for enjoyment. And it wasn't enjoyable tonight. It was a big disappointment, considering all the thing and the pomp and circumstance that was just ready for tonight, and it didn't happen. But I said, quick turnaround. You get to play Nebraska coming up on Monday. We will see you on Monday on this channel at 2 o'clock, and then later on in the night after the Michigan-Nebraska game. That's going to do it. Thanks so much to Michigan Go Blue 1234. He's talking about this is going to sting for the next 2 weeks, regardless of our next 4 games. No, I don't think so. I think that it stings right now for sure. But I think that where it does not going to sting as much is, let's just say they win on Monday. Yeah, it's still going to sting a little bit. You say, oh, yeah, but Michigan State. I will say if they beat Rutgers next Thursday when you could see the finish line. And then certainly if they rip off 3 in a row at Nebraska, Rutgers, and Illinois combined with Michigan State dropping a game. And look, Michigan State, they have to go to Maryland on Wednesday. So Michigan could be right back in there with a chance to control their own destiny and win the Big Ten outright heading into this game in Thursday and being able to see the finish line. So I think you'll feel a lot differently. Wisconsin goes to East Lansing. You know, it's that's not a cakewalk for Michigan State bringing in the Badgers. Then Michigan State has to go on the road to Iowa. I don't know. Iowa hasn't been very good this year, but what I'm saying is I think Michigan's probably going to drop a game in here, but I think Michigan State is too. But I think the Sting can go away with a couple dubs and certainly an L. And if you get where you can see the finish line, where you'll have a piece against Michigan State, that game will be just as big as the one tonight if Michigan is playing for a championship, and it can happen. So overall, I understand the sentiment tonight, but I think it's good. I think it'll be different. Can be different, certainly, if they can go out and string some W's together. All right. That will do it. Michigan falls to Michigan State by a big 75 to, this says 62. I thought it was, I might have written that in there wrong. Let's get you the correct score. It was 75 to 62. That is correct. A lot and a little. 75 to 62. I wrote it down wrong here. So earlier I said it wrong. I apologize for that. Everybody have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. And we will see you on Monday. Or if you're a member of the Maize and Blue Review, let's see you over there tonight. So long, everybody.